Shalom, shalom, shalom to brothers and sisters out there. Give me 1 second here. Place these. It's a little kind of windy. As always out here, it's windy, so bear with me for a second. All right, let's get going here. All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mawad coming to you again out on the highway and the byway, bringing on this gospel of truth to edify the hopefully elect of Yahshua, the Israel, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics. To warn the 2/3 of our people of the impending judgment that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to increase on Great Babylon, America, the sinful, wicked queendom. And it's always a pleasure to let Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, know that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to end your reign of terror. We're going to put you in slavery. Before we get started here, let's give all glory on to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. The honors and teachers, others, and apostles, make no son, advice, brothers, for the truth. Faith, fearless, and sheep, and brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Yep, here we are again. And it feels like last weekend was yesterday for me. I mean, the time is going really fast. So, as our scripture says, for the sake of the elect, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai would shorten those days. What days are those days? Those days are the days of judgment, okay, which we already see right now the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is bringing on this earth. We saw the earthquake out there in Venezuela, Japan, and California, okay? All happened in a 24-hour period, all right? We see now that so-called peace deal that, the Trump administration had concocted with the Iranians. Okay, that fell through. They're now firing missiles at each other, okay? We're seeing a lot of global conflict starting to pick up, okay? And this is the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai visiting the earth. Now, we see it. Even the heathens are seeing it. Something is off. Something is wrong. Things are not the way it used to be. And they're putting out these podcast video, maybe a TikTok shorts or something, and expressing it. It's not scriptural, but they know something is wrong. But guess who doesn't see something is wrong? You guess it. The 2/3 of our people. You see, our people are still in la la land. It doesn't matter, okay? See, because our people are so used to being at the bottom, down and out, and they've managed to make it, okay, hustle their way through life, that to them, they don't see nothing wrong. The change or the effects of the change of the economy is not impacting them because at the end of the day, a nigga can figure out how to eat, okay? And the so-called black woman, Latino woman, Native American woman, Hispanic woman, some of them are still receiving that residual help from Esau, okay, in the form of the, welfare or whatever the case is like that. So a lot of those policies that Trump has changed is going to take effect this year, really next year, really probably going to see the true effects of it, okay? And they're going to come to the realization that they're going to go through, that it's a time of Jacob's trouble, okay? This is the book of Ecclesiastes 5:7 reads, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the rod of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in a day of vengeance." So our people still have this sense of security because at the end of the day, our people like things that are tangible, okay? What's tangible? When you see the red man go on television, he said, you know what? I'm going to release X amount of money for this program or that program. Jake's them going to this false sense of security, as if he's looking at the camera and speaking directly to them. And you're seeing more and more to where they're basically the leader is saying, look, man, it ain't really these people I'm looking to help. They just happen to get the benefit of it. But because there's so many of them, especially the ones that are not here legally, quote unquote, they're draining the system. They're draining the system financially, which when the people that the help was intended for are in dire straits, after they lose their high-paying blue-collar job or high-paying white-collar job, now there's nothing for them. And this is why you're starting to see that anger coming from these doggone so-called white people, man. Because keep in mind there, the so-called white people, they don't take responsibility for their actions. Okay? They don't take the responsibility for the fact that many of them, I'll probably say about 90% of them are hired into positions that they're not qualified for. That they have benefited from white privilege, but now that is not working for them anymore. Okay, because what you got, what does it says in Revelation 12 and 12? Okay, let's go into that. Okay, because this is going to impact the entire earth. Okay, not just only the Hebrew Israelite. Jacob's trouble is going to be all of you doggone tribes' trouble. All right. This is Revelation 12 and 12. It reads, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." Who's that? That's the elect, or the hopefully elect. Okay? The man that goes on the highway and the byway and sigh and cry, the man that put no lesson. Okay? And we don't just sigh and cry when the camera is on. This is just a part that you see. We sigh and cry all the time, probably even more off camera than we do on camera. All right? Because even though you might have guys who are in groups, or so-called camps of group of like-minded brothers, every man in this ministry is an individual. You have your own individual cross to bear. You have your own family. You have your own things that you have to, look at. You have to look within yourself. And you can have, brothers around you that could, pat you in the back and say, "Hey, bro, it's going to be okay." Or, maybe you might even have an advisor. Or you can go for counsel. However your camp is set up, or whatever the case is like that, for you to turn to. Other brothers like that, may have other sources that they go to. Okay, or they reflect back on experience to get you to something. And at the end of the day, we all have to call on Yahweh Hashem Shai, okay, to get through these tough times. But it says here, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time." Now, there ain't no damn ethereal being, with tail and a horn that's going to come with a pitchfork and a bunch of doggone dark-looking dudes that are called demons that are going to come, suddenly appear on the earth, and then, terrorize people. That's not it. The devil has been here for a very, very long time. He's called Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. That is the devil. Okay? And the demons, every doggone Edomite you see walking, these proud-ass doggone crackers, those are demons. So we're surrounded by demons. So this ride isn't only going to be about just, some leader that's going to suddenly, come upon the whole world. You already have these people, okay, the elites, breaking down the system, okay, economically. They've already purged the earth of any type of morality whatsoever, okay? There's no morality anymore. I just saw a video clip on Facebook with the mayor doing a pride parade out here in El Paso. Now, El Paso's get about, I think it was 675 or 80,000 people in it. 95% are Hispanic, Latinos, Native American, Hispanic, Latinos from various regions, okay? Most from the Northern Kingdom. And then you have the small percentage of so-called blacks, Asian, okay, and whites. But here's a town that has been attacked before by so-called white terrorists. Okay, a white guy that came out here and shot up the Walmart. And actually the Walmart is right down the street from where I'm actually standing up here right now. Right? You can tell, you can see that this place, okay, which has a very high population of the Northern Kingdom tribes, okay, it's going to be a target for these doggone white supremacist group, neo-Nazi, whatever the hell it is. Okay, group. But yes, a lot of people out here, they got time to go and celebrate an abomination. So you can see the Spirit of the Lord is not dealing with the leaders. The leaders are blind. And the blind is going to lead the blind into destruction. But here it is. rejoice because we can see the end of our captivity and also the end of Esau's rulership. Look here, man. You cannot be in the spirit or possibly one of the children of Yahweh Shai, okay, if you don't have a sense of anger or have any anger on you in regards to the fact that you have the base of man and rulership over you. Now that you know that, now we know he didn't get there based on his merit, that in fact he was put there. We now know the true history of Esau. When you go into the book of Job, that talks about them being chased out for being thieves, they're filthy and dirty, can't speak, can't coexist with rational people, and we're seeing that right now. This man is incredibly irrational, okay? Very irrational. He has a very animalistic, brutality mentality. Okay, a guy that a man. When I'm talking about a man, I'm using it represents the entire tribe of Edom, of these Edomites. Okay, they have a brutish way they go about things in life. All right, and they have this mentality that if they're not in rulership, then nobody else is going to be in rulership. This is the reason why they try to ingrate into your mind about the earth being destroyed by a meteor or they'll name a movie Armageddon with a big giant rock coming from space, an asteroid that's going to hit the earth and destroy it. But we know Armageddon is a battle, okay, out there somewhere what they call the Middle East, okay, that's going to take place at the end when Yahushua returns, you know, and all these nations are getting together, fighting and battling out, and Yahushua appears in the middle of it. Okay, and during the time of Jacob's trouble in the heat of it, you know, when our people are getting put to death, you know, starving, getting shut down for real. Okay, in the book of Second Ezra goes deep into that. Okay, in fact, we can go. Actually, let's go into it. Fuck all these bugs around here for, man. Let's go into it and take a look at. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's go to Second Ezra 16. Let's start from verse 68. It says, "Behold," it says. Okay, let's start from verse 67. Okay, this will coincide with what I open up with. Okay, in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Okay, where Jason tarrying to turn to the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. What are you tarrying about? What are you waiting on? I think I was watching the brothers GMS Koala out there. I don't know what state they're in. And they was talking to this dude who say he drives by their camp all the time. And, you know, he's hoping to one day stop. And he keeps talking about, you know, one day he's going to stop. One day he's going to stop. He's putting it off. Okay? Well, let's say no time to be putting it off, man. Okay? You want to be under the protection of the Mashiach. Okay? You want to be under the protection of the Mashiach. It reads here, it says, "Behold, power himself." And when I use the word power, in case you're brand new to this, okay, it's who they call God, okay, or the Most High. Okay? So it says, "Behold," let me read it verbatim. It says, "Behold, God himself is a judge. Fear him. Leave off your sins and forget your iniquities." Iniquities means wickedness. "To meddle no more with them forever. So shall God lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble." Okay? We ain't gonna be perfect. So don't even try. But Yahushua made it very clear. Don't be all righteous, but don't be all wicked. Why would you die before your time is up? Okay, so we're not to test the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, based on the fact that we know he is going to protect us and save us. So that doesn't mean you're going to be stupid. I'm not going to put my stuff in the middle of the street and go, okay, all these cars have to drive by and go around me. You're going on the sidewalk and you got to be sensible about things. You still got to be have awareness of your surroundings. Okay? So I can see somebody walking up to me just by looking into this camera because of how I have the camera set up. Okay? I also scan around. Okay? Why? Because we're in a dark place here. America is a dark place. Okay? You're a target as a prophet. Okay? A servant of the Lord. And you're a target just being based on the fact that people call you black. Which I don't know how many of you watched the video I put up last night. And I did an AI rendition of what an actual white man would look like and what a black man would actually look like. Okay? And, you know, you can see, okay, come on. It was self-explanatory, all right? But it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered and idle. So some of us are going to get grabbed and try to be forced to, you know, say that we don't believe in Yahweh Shai, he's not coming back. You know, we were forced to do this. We were brainwashed to do this. We were in a cult. You know, they can starve you. Well, why do you think we have to fast? Why do you think the Lord has us to go fast? Why do you think we have to fast and afflict our body? You could be in a situation where you might have to, your test could be where you might not have to eat. You might not eat for 3 days. As Esau put a bunch of savory food in front of you and offer you a whole bunch of doggone shit. Hey man, just renounce or denounce the Hamashiach, okay, and the Father, Yahweh. And you can get this steak. Might even give you some woman, put you inside a hotel room, whatever the case is like that. Oh, by the way, why don't you just take this chip inside your hands or in your forehead? Okay? It says, and they that consent unto them shall be out of derision, stones and trodden under foot. So at the end of the day, once you do that, and you betray Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, your protection is gone. So the Lord is going to allow Esau to laugh and mock you, and then he's going to stomp your guts out. Okay? See, first of all, Esau, being a doggone savage beast, a hunter, he likes the thrill of the hunt. Understand this. This man likes the thrill of the hunt. Okay? And the ultimate prize is the man of the Lord. Okay? Why do you think Esau don't like to go on safaris and look for the lions and stuff? Okay? The lion is the ultimate predator. Esau, okay, or the lion is the ultimate trophy for Esau to get. To have a lion head or his paw or whatever the case is like that. So this man likes to hunt. Okay? Right now, the children of Israel, okay, so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos and Hispanics, we are being hunted. It's hunting season right now. And it's not only hunting season physically, okay, he's hunting for our soul. Nothing would make this man more happier, okay, than to turn stubborn man like us, okay, on his side. He's been able to get some of these other guys, IUIC, ISUPK, etc., 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 okay, to go marching down the street and, you know, making an ass of themselves and, you know, teach wrong doctrine and stuff like that. And that's them niggas, okay? Now, we are defenders of the Bible, okay? But at the end of the day, the Lord Yahweh Shai set up those men to do exactly just that, to get to gather the undesirable unto them, and then he's going to destroy all of them. All right. Continue on. It says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Who fear the Lord? The Hebrew Israelites. You know, and a lot of you see, he jakes them, especially the Latinos. Them. You're not going to understand that you're a true Hebrew Israelite. I stand up out here, and there's a sign. In fact, I can show you how it would look. All right? I'm going to bring this camera. I'm going to move this camera. Take a look. See? This is how it looks. And I have two of those, and I have a whole bunch of signs. All right? You think anyone's going to stop here? They're not going to stop here. The Lord doesn't want them to stop here. They don't believe that they're a target out here. In the meantime, this man is building data centers, and he also has 3 of the largest internment camps out here in the desert. Okay? Because El Paso is a desert city. It's a desert place. Okay? It's a city. It's got everything you need. Okay? It's got everything you need. The people out here dress very nice. I haven't seen you don't see any old cars out here. The houses are pretty decent, even more decent than the ones I see in California, than I saw in California. All right. And people out here look like they're doing pretty well for themselves. I don't see any homeless, none of that stuff out here. And the few beggars on the street or homeless guys, they're all Edomites. For some reason, they stop out here in El Paso. Okay, probably because they know they probably will be shown more compassion out here from Jake's than they would from their own. But it says they should be like bad man sparing them, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Therefore, they should waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So, what are you gonna do when you ain't got a part to piss in, Jake? When they done take all your shit from you, you're on the street. Most of you don't know how to even walk quarter mile. Most of you are so overweight, so doggone lazy, and so doggone out of shape from eating this hazardous food, this fast food, taco, all the abominable fish. If a Northern Kingdom tribe was to stop up here right now, they would learn you're not supposed to eat pork, tacos, and all that shit. But they ain't gonna find that out because they don't stop up here. Because they don't care. They don't think that this is something for them. Okay? They don't give a shit. Alright? They don't care. They don't think this is something for them. It's no value. They will see that they're on the sign here. And you know, in reality, when I was talked to a few, and I've shown them the 12 tribe sign, I believe that they were offended because, or they somehow think that we're trying to include them into something, you know, like we're trying to make ourselves better by trying to include the Hispanic and Latinos. You are so incorrect. Okay? You are so incorrect. Because when you look at how the true culture in this country is, it's really a black and white thing. Okay? Everything that's cool, hip, cultural, is so-called black. Okay? Anything that do with business or finance or money is so-called white. There it is. So, this is not to kiss any Hispanic or Latino's ass. You're on the chart. But they really feel like when you talking to them, this is how this is what I got out here. Okay, is that somehow you created this and include them on it because you want to be cool with Hispanic Latinos. Okay, Hispanic Latinos, and that is far from the truth. I don't have any hate for you, but at the end of the day, you're nothing special to me at all. My job is to do the work that the Mashiach set me up to go do, which is to what? Warn them. To warn you of the danger, warn you of the judgment that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring upon disobedient children. That's us. Okay? If you don't repent. To warn you about the fact that this place that you have your heart set into is collapsing around you and it's going to collapse. But the so-called white man actually don't have any power. He was given that power, so he didn't build that. He doesn't have a foundation. He built this power on this earth and created all of this stuff. He was given the fatness of the earth through the sword. They don't invent anything. Elon Musk did not invent AI or any of the stuff that he's putting out there. He brought the East Indians and the Chinese, okay, over to America on this HB1 class visa, okay, and they did all the program writing and stuff. He's a very average, intelligent guy. But money can fabricate a whole lot of lies. When you have money, you can fabricate a whole lot of fantasies and lies. Okay? So his picture is going to be on Forbes, Fortune. Anything that's going to glorify the so-called white man. Why? They own the magazines, they own the printing factory, the printing or the publishing organization. You see that? So they can manufacture any type of fairy tale that they want, except it doesn't impact the man of the Lord, because we don't care and we know that you ain't shit at the end of the day. It says, then shall it be known who are my chosen, they should be tried as gold in the fire. So it's gonna be known based on the horrific judgment that the Lord is going to allow Esau to bring upon us. Okay, throw you outside the house, all your rights gone. Okay, everywhere you go is just hate. You can have adult people coming at the your children, baby, infant, They don't care if you're a woman. They don't care if you're old. They don't care if you're sick. Nothing. And a lot of you men, you're going to be so overwhelmed by this because, again, you're going to be looking to the so-called white man to come and save you or to something that he implemented. You can be looking and going, well, what about the cops? Can they come and save me? No, the cops are going to come and beat you the fuck down. Okay? They're not coming to save you. They're going to be part of it too. And you know the worst part about it too? Is a lot of our people are going to be a part of it, of beaten down. They said 35% of the ICE agents are Latinos and Hispanics because they can speak the Spanish language. But they grabbing you and beating you the hell down. Out here in El Paso, you have the chief of police is this doggone so-called white man, okay? Edomite. And he already said that he's going to protect all his officers, okay, from allegation of abuse and stuff. And so guess what? These spics out here, these spic cops out here, man, they just going on. They're having a field day beating people that looks like them. Okay? And it's well known, okay, that they're very abusive to their people. Why? Because they're being protected by the doggone devil himself. Edomite white man cop. And see, they're too stupid to realize that this man is going to protect you or tell you can do whatever you want to do, beat down the citizens of El Paso, and nothing will happen to you. Okay, I will back you up. You will not lose your job or anything like that. And they feel, oh wow, that's a great thing. Not understanding that you're being used as a pawn, you dumb fucking spick. You laying hands on your people because some cracker motherfucker tell you that shit. Showing you just how stupid you are. But I'm going to read in the scripture exactly what's going to happen to your dumb fucking ass. Okay, let's go into the book of Jeremiah 5, verse 20. Okay, the book of Jeremiah 5, and starting with verse 20. And it reads, declare this in the house of Jacob, which 12 tribes of Israel, and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes, and see not, which have ears, and hear not. They don't hear the words. Okay? You will never hear us sugarcoat anything. I don't want to hear a brother preaching a lesson and sugarcoating shit. I'm going to immediately turn away. I'll give you maybe 1 or 2 chances before I unsubscribe from you. Okay? Because that means you full of fucking shit. Alright? You're full of fucking shit. I don't trust you. We don't sugarcoat it. So what we telling you? This cracker, this freaking doggone devil, the Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man is going to beat you niggas and spicks down. Okay? They hate you. They're losing their kingdom. The average Edomite are the ones that you saw in those pictures that we put up all the time where they hang jakes from a tree. Okay? Burn you at a stake. Cut off your private parts. Okay? The prison system is filled with our doggone men. Whether you did anything or not. They gun you down in the streets and get away with it. Even the doggone chinks are getting in on the damn shit, and then they're getting away with it now. When are you going to wake the hell up? There's not going to be a truce. It's not meant to be that way. Okay? So you're not hearing our words because, see, when you walk in how we walk, there ain't no day that I'm walking with a doggone big happiness in my doggone head and shit like that. Constantly I'm thinking about prophecy. I'm constantly thinking about, any day time, any day soon. Any day, this stuff is gonna really kick off to the level to where like, okay, it's on. Okay? We saw in 2020, none of us have ever experienced that before. The whole world getting locked down. These people demonstrated the fact that they can control nations. They can give the orders to nations to lock down. You doggone hot doggone tribes in the desert, in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and some of them doggone desert out there in Africa, going around beating people, telling them they have to stay inside their little mud hut. Some bullshit, man. Okay? Here it is, you don't bathe for friggin' weeks at a time or months at a time. Only time when some rain come there, you drink wildebeest piss, eat fucking wildebeest poop, fried wildebeest poop, all kinds of shit. But you worrying about some fucking some COVID crap that the crackers telling you is impacting the people in the northern hemisphere. What kind of fuck is that shit, man? Alright? Telling you how stupid the people in general are. It says, fear ye not me, said the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree? yet cannot pass it. Though the ways thereof toss himself, yet can he not prevail. Though they roar, yet can he not pass over it. Esau has a finite time. Okay? This is the reason why we're not impressed with this man. I'm not impressed with these crackers. I'm not impressed with you Amalekites. I'm not impressed, okay, with the red man in the Oval Office. I'm not impressed with the next man that sits in there. I wasn't impressed with the man that was before him. Okay? I'm not impressed with any of these people driving by in their vehicle that is looking, in a mocking way. I'm not impressed. If you really want to get an answer, you come and you step up. Okay? Of course, they can turn their head when they're driving by like that. Because, see, they can always tell. They can look at you and see. You speak with a boldness and a fierceness and a ferocity. Okay? Well, we would look into your eyes. Okay? Okay? I will tell the woman, the way you're dressed there with your fucking doggone thong on to go to the gym, okay, you're a fucking whore. Okay? And right now, you're not being touched. Okay? Or you think you're untouchable. So, we used to always have this thing, you used to always say this thing, when I was in the military. You fight the way you train. So if you walk around in life, okay, I'm going to use a woman as example, dressing very provocative, have your titties halfway out, your ass showing and all that stuff, even though you're a married woman or whatever the case is like that, but you like to be noticed by other men, okay, showing that you are completely out of order and you're a fucking whore, all right? You will continue to do that even when the warning is out there that there's still going serial rapists out there. Men are going around and friggin' they're going 3, 4, 5, maybe 10, okay, gang banging women and raping them and slicing and cutting their throats and shit like that, okay? That you should look as modest as you possibly can. You're not gonna listen. Why? Because you're used to trying to get verified, okay, by men. Because you're insecure and you're a whore. So you can do the exact same thing. You're not gonna be dressed for the fight that you're gonna be in, which means you're gonna have to be running for your life. You might have to go and hunt for food, okay? You might be 1 minute in the warm weather, the next minute you're in the cold weather, okay? You're not dressed, you would not be dressing for the things that's going around. I can just see during Jacob's Trouble, a lot of these other women walking around in high heels and the panties and their ass sticking out and shit like that. In the meantime, bodies are piling up. You got a bunch of doggone ravaged rapists running around the place here, grabbing up like that, and they are still too stupid to realize that you shouldn't look like that. And a lot for you men, a lot of you men are going to die because you're such pussy-ass motherfuckers, okay? Don't have no control of your damn house. Your woman controlling you. And you got brothers in this ministry being ruled over by their woman. Comes out every week, talking, but go home and get his ass slapped up by his doggone woman. Okay? And what did what did the scripture say? A wicked woman is given to a wicked man, okay, as a portion. So you might want to examine that. Okay? You can't control your own household. All right? So let's go into Amos 3. Let's go to the book of Amos 3 and starting with verse 1. Book of Amos 3, starting with verse 1. It reads, "Hear this now." It says, "Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah had spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought out from the land of Egypt. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." Okay? And yeah, we say it all the time. We were given the law, that's why we're getting judgments. That's why we got put into slavery. That's the reason why we can work our ass to death and have nothing to show for it. That's the reason why we're not safe when we go outside. Okay? You have no assurance of your life. Okay? You have this white man. You have there's a group right now out in that came from Canada. I did a video on it last week. And let me say this to a lot of you doggone viewers. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you pick your favorite person you want to watch, and you like to watch a more popular guy, the guy that seems like he's so powerful or whatever case it is. And that's your business. Okay? You can be a fan of whoever the hell you want to be a fan of. But a lot of time, you miss out on so much when you don't watch the little guy, the guy that's not popular. Okay, that might have something that's different. Okay, and that's because a lot of you are doggone respect of men. Okay, you're a fanboy or fangirl. All right, so you watch the most popular person that you think, okay, is something to you, right? Yeah, people looking because it's a spectacle, and that's fine. Okay, but you can miss certain things. Now, for those of you who live in Texas, you might not know this, but from Canada, and particularly in Texas, there's a group that was started out in Canada, white boys them, and they have these dojos set up. So those of you who are like in the MMA and all that stuff, or all that, mixed martial arts stuff, you might walk into a dojo and might look around and you might see like, what the hell? All these white guys inside there. Okay? There's some dojos that are set up as fronts in which these guys are meeting up and they're training, okay, for a race war, so-called race war. In particular, they're looking for the black man. And they're training, jiu-jitsu, all kinds of stuff, how to use weapons, Krav Maga, okay, which is Israeli Special Forces type of combat, and a whole lot of other ones that they're training. Because they already know deeper than them. They already know that hand-to-hand combat against Jake, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to lose. An A-class fighter, or A-class white guy fighter will lose to a B-class Jake 9 out of 10 times. And will never win a fight against an A-class Jake fighter. So they realize that Jake is really good at street fighting, doing some stuff out there. Jake is really kind of good at the urban jungle, so to speak. Because Jake them spend a lot of time slaughtering each other. Okay? So they're preparing for that. They're preparing for that. Let's go into, let's take a look at how that actually would look. Okay, let's take a look at let's go and see how that would actually look. We go into the scripture here. Let's go into 2nd Ezra. Okay. And y'all know where I'm gonna go with it. Okay. Let's bring it up here. This is 2nd Ezra 15, and let's start with verse 13, because what's the biggest thing that's causing these Edomites to chimp out, so to speak? Hard times, man. Lack of jobs. Here it is that you had a farm. Your workers were Hispanic and Latinos. They all ran away from work because they scared to get arrested and get thrown inside an internment camp. So they ran. So now, what could have been generational wealth is now gone. You're supposed to have deliver $2-3 million worth of crop to some factory or something like that, and now you breach a contract, and now they're gonna sue you. Okay, and you're gonna lose your farm. So there it is, right there. Generational wealth gone. You're seeing right now a lot of white-collar jobs are being dismissed because you have a AI. If any of you have played with ChatGPT or Gemini, I think Gemini is better. Personally, myself, I'm using both. But you can train them based on how you want them to deal, how you want them to respond to you. You can actually train them. Okay. So a lot of time you see a lot of the pictures that I'm producing, like the AI video clips and all that stuff. I'm producing all that stuff. I train my AI to actually produce those. So my AI actually knows. There's the way you have to write the words. Okay, would generate the picture. Okay, it's basic stuff, to be quite frankly honest with you. All right, but what I was going to say, the way these people are going to come out is going to, the event is already taking place right now. Job losses, blue collar, white collar. Okay, those people, they tend to have a little bit of this better savings. They can kind of last a little longer, but most of the Edomites, they basically were poor like the rest of Jakes. The only difference is that under the illusion of being so-called white, they didn't worry so much about it like that. But now it's becoming very apparent that they're being ignored. Okay? Food prices have gone up, the price of goods, cars, everything is going up, but wage remains stagnant. And then to top things off, you have companies are saying, well, we don't really need this much people anymore. We can automate things. Okay, and we've gone into the fact that most of you are not qualified for your jobs anyways. But it says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation. So imagine you're working 40 hours a week, and you only can meet half of your responsibility, half of your bills can be paid. So now you're gonna work 80 hours a week, 60 hours, 80 hours a week, which is gonna take away from you being able to do what? Hang out with your friends or families or whatever the case is like that. So a lot of people had a life of leisure where they could work the minimum hours of 40 hours, still go to the club, still go party, still go buy this, that, hang out and buy things for credit. But now, the thing that you used to buy on credit for about 3 years ago, now it's like 3 times the price. Okay? Yet till your wage is barely moved. You get landlords raising rent by $600 a month. Under normal condition, that would have been $500-600 a year, which would have translated to about an extra $50 a month. Okay? Which would have matched with the cost of living. So once you're inside the cyclone of poverty, it is very difficult to get out of it. When you get raised, if you start off, your living is $1, and that's you're living at the level of making $1 a year, and then you go up to $1.25. Well, everything else is going to go up to match the $1.25. So in essence, the quality of your life never changes, and this is the reason why you have perpetual poverty. The only way that would change is this: is if you were living at $1 and you went to $3, and the cost of living went up to $1.25, then you would actually be ahead of the game. Okay, but it's not that case for most people. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and destruction draw it near, and one people should stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So, you get people, I mean, in really intense, deep fear. Imagine when you're going to get kicked out. You're going to be evicted. You've seen how people look at you when you, people that are homeless, that are on the sidewalk, that haven't bathed in a couple of days, they smell, and then you're going to have to stand up in line, or when you fresh go out there, you're going to have to go find these people who know where you can get food, where you might be able to get a shelter, and stand up in line and wait till your turn is to get served some soup or whatever the case is like that. And it's all volunteer that's doing that right now. Now imagine when the time gets to that point where the volunteers are not going to be there. The volunteers might steal the food that's meant to feed people out there. It's going to become so overwhelmingly, the amount of people that's going to need or require help, it's going to be so overwhelming. And then the donation is going to become so underwhelming. They're not going to be able to feed people, because all the people who donate goods or donate some money or whatever the case is like that, they do it because they can either do a tax write-off with it, or they just feel good about themselves. But people are going to be in the spirit of prayer, like, nah, I think I better save this can of soup, or I might, I'm not giving out anything. And the Lord is going to put that spirit, take that generous spirit out of people, so that they're not doing that. And then you have, right now, let's say they got tens of millions right now collecting or needing that assistance. Imagine when that turns into hundreds of millions. And you can have these Edomites, they can still be proud as hell. They stand up in the same line as you, but they're proud to sell. And they ain't gonna be the Edomites that have caught hell their entire life, where they've been out there for a long time during the time when things was good. These are gonna be a new, fresh Edomites. You can see they still got their damn nice suitcase. They still wearing cologne, perfume, or whatever. Even get their hair fixed, but they're proud. Reality hasn't settled in, and it's gonna be crazy, man, because they're gonna be like looking around at you like, why are you in this line? Why are you getting help? You people never did anything like that. You just took the easy way out. You decided you just spend your entire life getting handouts. They can be looking at you like that, even though they're in that situation. It says, "For this be sedition among men, and invading one another, they should not regard their kings nor princes in the course of their actions to stand in their power." You probably ask like, okay, why the hell do you always keep bringing this out? We're bringing this out because this is right around the corner. People are complacent. I get neighbors that don't lock their doors. I get neighbors that leave boxes of goods and stuff outside for 2-3 days. Not concerned. They leave their garage open all day, all night. Not concerned. So that goes to show you, right away, people are in such a passive, or just have this false sense of security. Now, yes, I live in a nice place, or a nice area, I should say. A nice place, nice area, whatever. But I keep my door locked, and I keep my garage closed. And I'm always aware of my surroundings. When I walk around, I look around. And of course, I have cameras that watch, that has a 360-degree, view. I don't take chances, and I don't put anything to chance, because I understand what the deal is. I know at some point in time, when people already lose all their jobs, or they find themselves working to death, as this place is known as Spiritual Egypt, one of the names, Spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Okay? It says it right here, they're going to take things into their own hand. We've seen this in other countries, man. You've seen it on a small level here, where they have the looting. They call so-called looting, which we know they pay Jakes them to go do it. And Jakes them so ignorant, they don't understand. Even though you're not going to get arrested, and they're paying you to go break into stores and do this stuff, and they get you on camera, it sets the mind, it puts in the mind of people, those people, when things go down, rather than building, rather than solving the problem, or trying to work together, what they do is take advantage of the situation, and they go loot and destroy. So when Esau comes and tell you to come do something stupid like that, our people don't think and consider the fact is that your action is going to impact or have a negative appeal or look at the rest of us. This is why we're told even in this ministry, as a preacher or teacher or prophet, don't bring shame or blame to the gospel. Okay? Don't go out there and do something stupid. Because we represent Yahushua every single time we step out the house. You are representing Yahushua. In your daily walks, you are representing Yahushua. No different than when I was in the military. As an officer, I had to be held. I had to hold a standard at the highest level, because I got hundreds of subordinate soldiers. Okay, if their commander is doing bullshit, then what the hell do you think? I can't punish them. I can't UCMJ them for anything if I'm doing the same shit. I represented the military as an officer 24/7. So I had to think. I've been in many situations where there was one where I really wanted to freaking don't respond, and then I had to think of the consequences of when I respond like that. How this is going to look on the military, how it was going to look on me as a leader. Same thing with us in this ministry. Okay? And I just use that as an example, just so you know. The same thing with companies. They're firing people who put up TikTok videos, okay, displaying racism or whatever the case is like that, and they fire them because because why? They don't want any allegiance to that person. which is going to have some type of negative impact on their brand. And that's why you're seeing certain people are getting, laid off. I think it was, remember Kathy Griffin from, she used to do like the New Year's Eve show all the time, Kathy Griffin. Skinny, scrawny, lizard-looking cracker bitch, man. And she said something about during the lockdown, she said something about, I think the Jewish people, Amalek, or the Amalekites. And they fired her. She forgot for a moment. They own the networks. At the end of the day, they own the networks. Okay? So they didn't like that. These Edomites are going to show their true colors. When all the jobs are really gone, they feel like they have nothing to live for, and they have no respect for the law. The only reason why these Edomites are not grabbing jakes and randomly driving by and shooting and just going killing jakes right now is because they know they would have to go up against their government. That's it. But as we speak right now, as I said earlier, there are some Edomites right now. There's these dojos all across Texas, particularly in Dallas, in the Dallas area, and the Dallas area. Okay, in the Dallas and surrounding areas. A lot of these dojos, they're not dojos to teach the public. They're dojos really for teaching these Edomites who are using it for their secret meeting and training, okay, to come against so-called black people. So you don't think that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, if he has the prophet write something like this down, okay, that he's not going to prepare the situation for it, get these Edomites riled up, get Jason riled up, okay? He's going to set the scenario to where these Edomites are not going to care about the cops. That's why we always tell you, Jason, who are wearing the uniform, if you're a cop, they're not going to respect you. These Jakes them here, or these Hispanic Latinos here, who are cops here, who beat down their own people here in El Paso. You think these Edomites, when you put a little doggone car with a doggone white boy in that, you think he's going to respect you or your authority? He's going to put you in the spirit world. He's also going to go look for your house. You can get your driver's license and go to your damn house and put your family in the spirit world. This is what's going to be happening. So what happens when all the cops are all across this country and these white boys are starting to kill them and they don't respect the authority because they don't have nothing to live for and they want to get the country back by war? They thought it was Civil War 2.0. These cops are going to be freaking doggone paranoid. Anyone that looks like a threat to them, they're going to doggone put in the spirit world. You're not going to be able to walk over there. Snipers all over the damn place. People sniping your ass. They might set up doggone bunch of food or canned goods in the middle of the road. And see which one of you doggone stupid doggone Jakes I'm going to go and go try to go grab it. Nothing's free. You're going to go there. Boom. They're going to snipe your doggone dumb ass. Okay? Listen to this very carefully. If you are covered by Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, then you wouldn't have to worry about that so much. Let's go into, let's see. Let's go look at this. This is going to be a critical thing because keep in mind, there's going to be two main judgment here in Great Babylon, America, that's going to really impact so-called Americans. One is going to be that famine. We're very gluttonous in this doggone place. Imagine a place where people just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat for whatever reason. You're sad, you eat. You're mad, you eat. You happy, you eat. You're watching TV, you eat. You're celebrating a birthday, you eat. You're just watching the sky, you eat. You're laying on the beach, you eat. You see that? Constant gluttony. You can see it in the fact that you have everything is supersized. You have people are just gluttonous. Okay? That's one. Sword. So everybody's a gluttonous swine, and they all have a gun. Whether they know how to use it or not makes no difference. You know. And also, okay, but we know those are going to be the two main things, and of course, disease is going to be the other thing. Okay, and you got this man experiment on some diabolical shit, gene splicing of animals and crap. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah has have this man create some new kind of creatures that's going to be released, either released or escape. Or there's creatures that's already been created by the Lord Yahweh Shemashah that are laying dormant or out of view. May actually even have the ability to camouflage and you can't see them. Okay? That's going to manifest. Okay? We're going to Isaiah 65:13. And for disobeying the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, you're going to have a set of people who are going to eat and have more than their heart's desire during the time of great tribulation, and people are struggling. Because what does it say? Wisdom. What does it say? Wisdom and stability would be the same. Wisdom and knowledge would be the stability of the times. Clearly, when everybody started to go crazy and run into the supermarket and grabbing everything like that, killing each other for shit, you know, you're gonna be part of that melee. Okay? And the Lord already told us that we have to be like pilgrims on this earth. Meaning what? You got people right now preparing food for us as we speak. They call them doomsday preppers. The Lord will have them prep up all foods all over this country. Stash all over the place. And then they leave the house to go to get that one more item. And the Lord put them in the spirit world. And He has things preserved. And the Lord has them preparing wine, canned goods, even generator with gasoline inside of it and all that stuff. You know, this is why we have to be healthy, man. Because you as a man, we don't know how many people the Lord is going to give for you to carry. You might have to be the leader of many people. Right now we have leaders of camps. We have the apostles, okay, who are our leaders, and you have the bishops who are our leaders, okay. You have the elder brothers and all that stuff. And there's a ranking structure and stuff like that for however it goes like that, you know. And then you have the rest of us who are just, well, technically help. I mean, we're just teachers. We're teachers, okay? We're not sitting back idly and just learning from the elder brothers and the prophets and them and go, wow, boy, they really throw some good videos, but then you ain't doing shit, okay? You get up there and you go do it to the best of your ability and whatever you was given, all right? So we're told to be like pilgrims. Then you're going to have to go. The ministry will be shut down at that time. You know, they can persecute some of us and maybe even kill some of us. We don't know. And like I always say, every brother in this ministry has to be prepared for the fact that your head may get chopped off or you might be put in that position. Okay? And you might say to yourself, well, why don't they put the apostles in them? Because they've been around long like that. They know what's happening. They'll have a stronger faith than you. Well, here's the deal. You know, there's a payoff. If the man has been around, or the men have been around for 30 years, 40 years and endured that long, then many other men would have said, screw this shit. Okay? You don't think that's enough of a pay? I think that's enough of a pay right there. Why would they have to be put on there? So you have to be prepared to go get your hair chopped off and stuff like that. Okay? You ain't got nothing to lose, man. Alright? You'll be up in the chariot first. Okay, and then you can cheer the brothers down here. And I'm speaking for myself. You know, get your head chopped off for Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, therefore, thus said the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Why are we going to rejoice? We say to Yahweh Shemashah every day, because we see things are happening. You can't convince me. I know you can't convince the other brothers them that Yahweh Bashim Ashai is visiting this place. You can't. There's miracles that's happened in our lives that defies the mind. Okay? And I don't want to put my business out there, but Yahweh Bashim Ashai is real. For real. Okay? If he said we're gonna eat, we're gonna eat. If he said don't worry about the sword and stuff, 1,000 will die on one side and 10,000 on the other side, let them come to IDD, don't worry about it. But we can be able to transfer us across America. But we may have to go to the next city or go to the next place. Your abandoned house, abandoned whatever. We may have to transfer us, maybe on foot, maybe on vehicle. We don't know. The Lord is going to guide us. Pray to Yahweh Shema Shai for guidance, man. That's all I can say. I pray for guidance. Because if I leave myself, I would lead myself right into destruction. For real. I would. Alright? So we got to pray to Yahweh Shema Shai for that guidance at that time. And we're going to be just fine. But for the rest of the people, particularly our people, 2/3, they're not going to be fine. And I won't even talk about the rest of these other tribes because the Lord ain't dealing with y'all at all. Y'all on your own. You're going to have a lot of people just going to just die, sit on their couch. They're too fat, they're too sick. Okay? And they believe in a system that actually give a crap, that they thought to give a crap about them, and it doesn't. Because the devil rules this earth. So that's all I'm going to bring out today. Like I've always said, camp is an extension, basically, of a lesson. The difference is you just stand up outside and do it. Read a few scriptures, and then have a more intimate talk, okay, with your audience or with the camera. In my case, with the camera. All right. So Lord willing, that the Father, to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Bakakadash, Shalom.